What's going on? This is Stacy from the Frizz Girls, and it is master class tonight. And yes, oh my God, I had no idea when I scheduled this master class at this time and on this day. There is going to be so much going on right now. It's insane. Tonight, I know, is the Oscars. I had no idea the Oscars was going on tonight. I apologize for that. Oh my goodness. So if you can just take a little bit of time and step away from the Oscars to watch us tonight, that would be awesome. And we'll probably stop a few minutes early, maybe 10 minutes early, only because it is season 2, episode 7 of The Way Home. And I know I'm aching to see what happened from last week and to know the story. And if you also are a lover of The Way Home, you're going to want to jump online or, get on TV to watch that. So, but in any rate, let's get started. So today, everybody, we have in the studio, we have got Davida, Lampkins Tydings from Kosher Kurls, and she's going to tell us all about herself, her brand, and her products, because I recently met her via online through a friend of my family's that I've known for as long as I've been alive. And she's known this friend for a very, very long time in her life. And so we were able to be connected. I was able to learn about her. I was able to try some of her products out. And I just want to get more information about Kosher Kurls and the whole brand of the company for myself, but also for you guys, because you guys may not know about Kosher Kurls because I didn't until recently. So welcome, Davida. Will you please welcome yourself and tell everybody who you are, a little bit about your background, and give everybody a little bit more about you and yourself.
Well, first of all, hello, curl friends. I'm Davida from Kosher Kurls and Davida Aprons, and I've been in business for 44 years, but the Kosher Kurls to me, is brand new. It's only 14 years. So, and that's who I am, and who a lot of you maybe know our products from Davida Aprons. Like I said, the Kosher Kurls is our brand, and we're proudly manufactured in the United States.
So tell me, Davida, when did you create the brand? You said 14 years ago. And what was your vision when you created this brand, and why did you create it? Like, tell us about that, because I want to know.
Okay. Well, first of all, I should probably say is that I've been doing hair my whole entire life. As everybody says, I cut my own umbilical cord when I was born. That's how long I've been doing hair. And I do hair, makeup, electrolysis, everything. And I do that in New York, in California, and all over the world. So that was a thing that, it's funny how life just has a cycle, and that I started with hair and did other jobs, and then I've come back. So a friend of mine had a product, and it was basically for biracial people. And I said, oh, I'm not Black, but I'm Jewish. And so I came up with the word Kosher Kurls. And that just went crazy. People go, oh my God, Kosher Kurls, how cute is that? And so, and that's the funny thing, is because people always go, oh, I love it. I mean, because it has a whole, shtick on here about everything, and they go, oh God, I just love this. I don't even care if it works. I go, excuse me. I go, it does work. And it's a fabulous product. It's probably one of the best products on the market. So that is how it started. And we have had so much fun with it, because like I said, everybody just, they just crack up with this, and then we had started just with the leave-in, which, is our main thing. And then if you want, I can tell you, we have our sulfate-free shampoo,
Hmm.
we have our deep everyday conditioner, and then we have the leave-in,
Hmm.
and then we have another one that I call straight shtick, because the fact is that people who if they either want their hair curly, what everybody wants what they don't have. If you have
Right.
curly hair, you want straight hair. If you have straight hair, you want curly hair. So the fact being is that that's why I made two separate ones: the kosher curls leave-in schmear, and then the straight shtick leave-in. Because if you want curls, all you do is smush it. If you want straight shtick, all you do is blow it. So that's basically the cute aspect there. So
So what became like, tell me about like the brand, like, and especially with, since your first product was a leave-in schmear, like what was your idea about the leave-in schmear? And then what made it take off like crazy? Like who found it and was like, I've got to have this product, and it just went crazy from there.
well, see, that's the whole thing, is that, people, like I said, are always looking for a hair product. And like I said, this product is so perfect because it was a combination of many different elements. And like I said, it does everything that you need it to do. Oh, because people always say to me, well, don't you have to use a mousse? Don't you have to use a gel? I go, no, 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 no. I go, everything you want is in this bottle. All you need to do, wash your hair, wash your hair, condition it, rinse those out, and then towel dry. And when it's damp, you just take a little bit, put this in, and you just smush it in. So you don't need any mousse, any gel. And the thing that I love about this, and that people love, is that it's so light, and it's not a heavy weight. You know, I give. I don't know if you I know that when you were doing your book promotion, I sent you some of these little packets. So
Yeah.
these are our little kosher curl samples. And the thing is that I tell everybody this little packet, when I use it, it lasts me like 6 times. So that is a good thing. That, it's very, like you were saying, no mousse, no gel. This is all you need.
Okay,
And
because I'm glad you said that, because I washed last night with Kosher Curls, but I didn't use the leave-in schmear. I decided just to leave it out for the night. And here's the thing, I have a whole other products that I used on my hair last night after that. I had no idea that the leave-in schmear should have been put on damp at the
uh,
very end when my hair is half dry. Because for my hair, what I need is I normally need a leave-in at some point, especially when it starts to grow out long and the ends start to get like hard to get the brush through. What
mhm,
happens is that's my time where it reminds me to tell me I need a haircut.
right.
And so, but sometimes I'll need a leave-in in my hair. So I've been putting in leave-in like I normally put in my leave-in and brushing it through. And then I do the lock method, which is leave-in, oil, curl cream, and then I'll do mousse, gel and then mousse, because that's just what I've been doing. So I had no idea that the leave-in schmear should have been done like after it's like half dry. So I can't wait till my next wash day
Oh, yes.
to dry that, because if that works the way you say it works, then
Uh-huh.
that's actually going to take my entire product line down from what
Oh,
I
yes.
currently have to finish it out. And then I won't need any of the additional things else. So that's really good to know. So speaking of which, I'm in a Facebook group, and
Uh-huh.
I've connected with a lot of moms because the Frizz girls, we cater our books towards girls ages 5 to 13. And it's at that age at 5 when their hair is just starting to come in, they're getting out of that toddler phase, they're getting into that back, going to school phase. And 13, usually right around that time period, it's right before their hormones change again, before their menstrual cycle. Because as a woman, your hair changes throughout your life from the time you're a baby all the way up throughout the years.
Mhm,
And you've seen it in your line of work being a hairstylist,
mhm.
cutting and styling and working with all different clientele at all different ages, at all different times in their life. So you've seen this. We know that kids between 5 and 13, their hair is still very young and it hasn't gone through that, next transition into it. Are the products that you have good and safe for 5 to 13, as well as kiddos that are 5 and under? So let's start with 5 to 13. Tell me about kiddos that are 5 to 13.
Well,
Safe
that's
for them, like, is it recommended? Like, tell me why, so that way these moms can have some confidence and some inner peace in themselves.
Well, see, that's the beautiful thing is that, see, in this, there isn't anything in here that's not safe. It's vegan, there's no animal testing, and it is made in the United States.
Nice.
So we use it for, I say it's good for men, women, and children. And then
Okay.
it's also been great for your animals because I have a lot of dogs and, with curly hair, whatever, because that's the whole thing is that it's so soft to the touch. So the thing is I have some kids that they freak out if they don't have their kosher curls, and they'll say, I'm not going to go to camp unless I have my kosher curls, mommy. I can't go without it. So, I mean, the kids love it. And I'll tell you, one of my secret little tricks is that what I do is because, like I said, this is just a small little sample, and you just use such a little amount of it. But the thing is that I can't believe you've been using so many different products, and that's what people go, "Oh God, David, I love you." You know,
I
this
had
product.
no idea. Now I know to try it without everything to see how my hair behaves. Because if that's
Yes,
the case, then I can finish everything else I had out.
exactly, exactly. And then I'll tell you my other little piece, and that you can use for kids, animals, or whatever, because sometimes kids don't like to stand still. But the thing is that when I'll do a show or thing, and people want to know about the kosher curls, well, their hair's dry, so I can't really just put it on their hair dry. I always say that would be like putting frosting on a cake. So I tell everybody my secret is I take a spritzer bottle
Uh-huh.
and have it filled with water, and
Mhm.
then I just take a few little, and put it in there, and then
Mhm.
I shake it up, and then it's so great because you can just take it and uh, let's say you're on an airplane, or let's say you come home and you lie down. With curly hair, you're going to lie down, and one side is going to be flat, and the rest of it is still beautiful. So, and this is also great for kids because they won't. You can catch them, and they can just stand there, and you can just take this and just do this, put it in there, and then you can just redo it and I say to people, like, to reactivate it. And this
Right.
is the important thing, is to reactivate it. Because number one, you don't want to be washing your hair like every single day. In the old days, you just wash it every day. Now people just wash them every so often, or whatever their routine is, 2 3 days. But the thing is that when you wake up with curly hair, it's smushed. So take your spritzer bottle, put your kosher curls in here, and just reactivate it and respray it. So that works well for children. It works well for adults. It works well for everybody. And the thing is that this lasts. That packet, like I said, lasts 6 times. This lasts a long time. People will say to me, Davida, how can you make any money with kosher curls? This bottle lasts forever. I go, I know, but it's fantastic. And they
I'm running out of my bottle now because I've been using too much of it. Because
oh
I
my
can tell. But you know what? But see, now that we're talking, and this is why these master classes with you and other people in the hair care industry that cater to wavy curly hair are
God.
so important, so needed, which is why I created the Frizz Girls.
Mhm.
For me personally, growing up, I didn't have all this knowledge when I was a kid.
Right.
We did not have the amount of products when I grew up as a kid were not around. I mean,
Mhm.
they just didn't exist. The knowledge that we have now regarding wavy curly hair and coily hair and kinky hair and how to properly take care of it and to cut it and to style it and shampoo and condition. We didn't have a lot of options at the time. We didn't
Right.
have a lot of information. And the only book that I can remember that was around was by Lorraine Massey. And she talked about curly hair, but it
Right.
wasn't necessarily geared towards kids. And I don't think there's been another book that's been produced since her book has been released in back in the 90s that really
Mhm.
talks about it, which is why the Frizz Girls are so important because it helps kiddos, 5 to 13, understand how to take care of their wavy curly hair. Because if they have parents or grandparents or aunties or uncles or guardians that don't know how to take care of their hair, because there's a lot of kiddos out there that have parents that maybe have straight hair. And they're
Mhm.
like, I have straight hair. I don't know how to take care of my kiddos' hair. They've got wavy hair. They got curly hair. I don't know where they got it from. It's not for me. Like, how do you take care of it? And or you have kids that are biracial, you know, they're mixed between two different parents. And
Right.
so maybe one parent has really curly hair and the child inherits that in their life. And they're like, my child, you know, is biracial and
Mhm.
they have this curly hair that I don't know how to work with. What do I do? So that's the whole point of the Frizz Girls, is to really help those individuals understand so that we can feel comfortable and confident in
Right.
themselves.
That's
And
what everybody says, you know. But
exactly, and then to speak to somebody like you who has been in the hair care industry for several years, Mhm. and that has curly hair, but
uh,
now also has products for curly hair.
but see,
Um,
that's the funny thing is because I never really had curly hair,
oh,
and
really?
kind of- yeah, I had wavy hair, and I would get permanents. You know, I would remember getting a permanent. It's like I say, it's always funny. People want curly hair or they want straight hair, whatever they want. But I always just embraced my hair. But then, oh, I got a permanent afterwards. But now, see, hair has a memory, and the more you smush it, the more your hair will remember. And the thing is that I use the Kosher curls now, and from being wavy, now it's basically curly. And people will say, God, if I could have curls like yours. And I say, you can. I said, just use the product. And just like I tell them that the hair has a memory and that the more you use it, that, you know, the curlier you're going to, it will be. I'm not going to say to you, oh, you have bone straight hair. And all of a sudden I'm, you know, making a miracle that it's going to be curly. But the thing is that uh, you just have to know how to work with your hair, and you want to just use as little of products as possible. And it's funny, like you were saying, you're using so many different products because, first of all, like you said, with kiddos, you can't, you know, sit them there long enough to do this. So you want to just do you know, a real easy thing. And like, you know, mostly you think that people know how to use a product. So when I'll give it to them, I'll go, you know how to use the product. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So like I said, I had one person that said to me, I said, well, how'd you like it? Oh, well, you know, it was a little bit heavy. I go, well, how much did you use? And she goes, the whole thing. I go, are you kidding me? I said, you told me you know how to use product. I go, you just use a teeny little bit. So the thing is that the least amount of product that you can use is better. And like I said, and then it makes you still feel so good because you're, in the old days, we used to use hairspray and stuff like that. So a person would touch your hair and it would be, you know, and that's the same thing I feel like with the mousse or gel that's too crunchy. I always tell people I like my hair soft. I like my French fries crunchy, you know?
right.
So that's the whole thing, is that the least you use, the better. And it makes, you know, for the kids to learn how to do it too. So like you said, some people don't know how to use a product, and that's what you just have to make sure it's an easy no-brainer. Just one, wash your hair, condition, rinse those out, towel dry. When it's damp, put a little on, smush it up, and then you're good to go.
I'm so excited. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that crunchy feeling, that's actually called a cast. So
Mm,
that's when you've got mousse or gel in your hair, and when
mm,
it dries, it gets that hard cast. So
mm,
to get rid of that cast, for those of you that may not be aware of it, is you have to break the cast. So you either
mm,
have to scrunch the cast or you have to clap it out. That
mm,
requires just a teeny, like a very small amount of hair oil, and
mm,
you smush it in your hair, and you can either clap it out or scrunch it out, and that will break up the cast. But it's really great that I'm learning about your hair care products, especially the smear, because the funny thing is, I learned recently on a video on TikTok that I had been brushing my wavy hair wrong for years, and I didn't even realize it. Like, I've
mm.
been brushing it horizontally, and I found out you're supposed to actually brush it vertically, and I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. I had no
And it's
idea.
interesting that you even brush it because, you know, usually I just tell people, you know, use your hands, and like you're saying, to break the cast, all you have to do is just like take it and, you know, smush it out. Because I tell people that if I was to brush my hair would be straight. Because people, oh, I want a hair like yours, and they'll show me their hair, and I go, well, if I was to brush my hair would be straight like yours. And they're going, you're kidding me. And that's the whole thing, is once you have your hair, you know, in the sense, you know, it's you've got your product on. I tell people, you know, throw your head upside down, smush it up, and then, you know, throw it back. And because some people say, oh, don't even touch your hair, because the more you touch it, the frizz it's going to be. But that's the whole thing is with Kosher Curls, it controls the frizz and defines the curls. So
So
that's
when did you start and create the shampoo and the conditioner? Because I know you said you did the leave-in schmear first. So when
right.
did how long did the shampoo come into play? And what were the needs for the shampoo? And as well as the same thing for the deep conditioner.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is that we said that, I'd be selling this product and everyone was loving and buying it. And then they said, oh, well, what kind of shampoo should I use? I go, well, you can use, any kind of shampoo you want. And then we started saying, well, if we make a shampoo and a deep every day, instead of selling one product, we'll be selling the whole trifecta and they can, use it. And I'm not saying you can't use any other shampoo or conditioner,
Right.
but right now, the nice thing is to have it all together. So what we did about, I think it was maybe 2, 3 years into the Kosher Curls, and we created the sulfate free. Now that's the thing is people want a sulfate free because everyone says, well, I color my hair. And by the way, my hair is natural now. I still think I'm a blonde, so I know now I'm a platinum blonde. But the thing is, I'll tell people you can use it on colored hair. And that's the thing, a sulfate-free shampoo won't harm your hair, and it's a much more gentle on it. So the whole idea to wash it and use this, and then like I said, you have to use deep every day because you have this so that it will coat the hair, but then this is going to be rinsed out. So the whole thing is like people sometimes they don't realize that's why. Okay, so with the leave-in, it's for the curly hair, so it's smushed up. So people who want to blow the hair, I go, if you're going to blow your hair, it's still very important to use a product because you've got to protect the hair follicle, the cuticle. And that's the whole thing because, when you're blowing it, you're stripping the follicle and it's very damaging and hard on the hair. So that's why I say if you want it curly or straight, you still have to use a product that will coat your hair shaft and to protect it. And I'm sure you know how you're a hair aficionado to know that you've got to do that straight or curly, have it protect your hair because that's what people say. Well, my hair is very fine, and if I put any product on it, it's going to make it so heavy. So the thing is that this is so lightweight, and I'll do anytime I do a show or anything, I'll tell people I go feel my hair, and they go, "Oh my God, it's so soft." I go, "Yeah," and I said I have a product on. It's not a heavy thing, and that's the whole idea is not to have it be heavy. I mean, you've got such beautiful, thick, a
Like,
beautiful mane.
my hair is not thick. I
Uh-huh.
have baby thin hair.
Uh-huh.
I have a lot of hair.
Exactly. That's
I
thick,
mean, I
thin.
literally a ton. I just washed it last night, so it's not
Uh,
it's full, but in a couple more days,
uh,
it'll get bigger as I take it down and refresh it. But and
uh,
I will say to everybody who has color treated hair, because if you notice in my hair, I've got blonde in my hair. I put blonde in
right,
my hair.
right.
And so forth. And so I use the shampoo and this conditioner on my own hair, and it's color treated, and I don't have any issues on it changing the color of my hair. So it doesn't make my blondes look brassy or look yellow or anything. It keeps the color, it retains the color. So I can attest for myself personally that if you do have color treated hair, it is safe for it. It's not going to damage it. And I
Right.
will say too, it does. I've noticed between using, because there's a couple different shampoo and conditioners that I use from a couple different brands. I will say that the products do make my hair feel lighter.
Mhm,
So if you are looking for a lighter feeling type of
mhm.
hair, as opposed to being heavy, it does. And I do have a lot of products in, like I've got shampoo, conditioner. I didn't do leave-in. I did oil, curl cream, mousse, and gel last night because that's normally what I put in my hair. But
I
now,
want you to promise me that you're going to do just shampoo, conditioner, rinse it out, towel dry, and just use just the leave-in and let me
yes,
know how you love
dude,
it.
because so for me personally, I wash my hair twice a week. Tuesdays
Right.
and Saturdays is my wash days. So when I
Uh,
wash my hair on Tuesday, I'm just going to leave everything else out and
uh,
then scrunch it dry and get all the moisture out as much as I can. And then I'll add the schmear and dry it. and then see how it is. Because technically, I've actually washed, and some people think I'm crazy for saying this. I still use every once in a blue moon, uh, Alberto VO5 strawberries and cream because it's Curly Girl approved, just as
Oh,
shampoo and conditioner. And I have shown people that you can just use shampoo and conditioner and still retain your waves and curls.
mhm,
A lot of it's not necessarily product, it's more about like styling techniques
mhm,
and how you apply things and take care of your. And that's what I've learned, because if you guys have my book, Stacy loves learns to love her wavy hair, and you can too. If you look in the back of my book, you'll see my hair at the very beginning of my transformation when I used to straighten my hair. So I straightened my hair for years, and you'd see pictures of me and my hair transformation of what it took to get my wavy hair back. And it's actually a lot more wavier than it
mhm,
was when I was a kid. It's more like on 2C, 3A hair. So
mhm.
I still follow under the wavy category, but I do have a little bit of clumps that do pull from the curly category for my hair,
Mhm.
and so forth.
Well, that's,
Um,
see, having thick, I have thick but fine hair also. And like people always say, because there'll be some people who have super thick hair. And, like your hair like looks, and so people always say, oh, I wish I could have hair like yours. I go, my hair is very fine. You've got really thick hair. So that's the whole thing, is learning how to manipulate it and work with your hair,
and are these safe for kiddos 5 and under, those young
Yeah.
kiddos that have those baby curls?
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah. Yeah, they're very safe for them. And that's what I was saying, is that you wouldn't want to be using a heavy product, but these are all very safe, nothing in there to harm. And, people love to be able to use it. And, like you do, you get pictures people send in, I always say from, a little teeny, a few weeks old or a few minutes old, all the way up to, 100. I have a few people in their hundreds.
Oh, I bet they look absolutely fantastic. I bet their hair looks
Kosher
even
curls will
better
make you
too.
live forever.
Of course, of course, of course, of course. And that's really important to a lot of people, especially moms, because if you
Mhm.
think about it, we're now in the education industry where we're really taking our time in our businesses to educate people. And
Mhm,
a lot of people are doing their homework and their research. And
mhm,
a lot of people are very concerned about, are products cruelty free? Are they vegan? Are they
mhm.
safe for my kiddos? Because some parents, as you know, will have kiddos that have allergies. They're allergic
Right.
to certain ingredients. They may have eczema, and so their skin is very sensitive. Their scalp might be very sensitive. So it's really good to know that there is a product, a hair care product for wavy curly hair kiddos that is safe to use for them and those concerns. So it does give those moms a sense of relief and comfort knowing that the product that I'm buying, that I'm
Mhm,
also going to be using on my young kiddo's hair, who is curly and she's 3, for instance, or even, a little boy too, that it is safe. It's not going to cause any major problems or issues. And then I know that I can use it. So that's so comforting. So
yeah.
for some people who may not know where, because I've never seen kosher curls at Ulta, I haven't seen them at Walmart, I haven't seen them at Target, I haven't seen them at Kroger, I haven't seen them at Sephora. Where do you find the product at? Tell us where we can find kosher curls if we're aching to go try it right now.
Yeah, so see, that's the whole thing, is that now kosher curls, you can go to, am I allowed to say our website and everything
Sure,
that's it?
absolutely, of
Okay.
course.
So you can go, of course, to www.koshercurls.com, or you could go to www.davidaaprons.com. Now, we also have a lot of stores, who sell it. Now, we sell to Kroger in California, so you could buy it there. But I also have girlfriend reps. And so anybody out there who wants to become a girlfriend rep, just let me or Stacy know. And a lot of people, they'll buy the product, because what happens is they use it, they love it, and they want, of course, share it with everybody. So they become a girlfriend rep and they buy directly from us. And then they, buy it, of course, wholesale, and then they'll sell it to retailer for whatever they want. And that's another way that you can get the kosher curls. There's different stores, all over. There's a lot of salons that have it. It's just, this thing, is doing this with you. We're trying to pass the curls around. So the more people that will know will get it. That's why everyone says, "Oh, I love your T-shirt," and it says, "Hello, girlfriend," and has our website. So you become a girlfriend rep. You get, of course, all the girlfriend products. But that's the thing is that hopefully from this and from Stacy, people will know more because it's people go, "I never even heard of this," and then there's sometimes I'll be placed and I'll see them and they'll go, "Oh my God, you're Kosher Curls. Oh, I love your product." And I'll always say, "How did you hear about us?" "Oh, I went to this convention, or I went to this or that, or a girlfriend, will gave it to me." And that's why when we have our card, and anytime somebody buys it, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. I guess it's probably on eBay, but on our sites. So whenever somebody buys it, I always send them a sample and ask them to please help us pass the curls around, and then they do. And then the more people that know it is, the better. So
So
I'm a
let's go back a second. You mentioned brand rep or, a curl brand rep. Can you tell
a,
me
curl,
more
a
about,
girlfriend rep. That's why I
yeah,
call them.
girlfriend rep. Tell me more about that and how you can become involved, because if there's people that are watching this video, either they're watching live in the Frizz Girl Facebook group right now, or they watch it on my website or my YouTube channel or your website or your YouTube channel. How do people become one? What does it take? What's involved? What's the process? How do they contact you? Because there are going to people that are going to see this and want to know that information. So let's share that information with everybody so they're well aware of it.
Well, okay, so what they can do is, like I said, I always tell people I want you to try it. And, I always say, hopefully I know you're going to like it. And they go, "No, I love it." So the thing is that, yes, use it, try it. And then you could just contact us. Our phone number, I believe everything's on here, 323-581-7300. Or like I said, go to Kosher Curls or go to Stacy, whoever. It's sort of like a pyramid scheme. I want to always give everybody credit and let everybody enjoy everything because there's enough for everybody to go around. So what you could do is like try the product and just say, "I love this." And instead of just buying one bottle, you can buy a case. A case is only 12, or if you want a half a case, whatever it is. And then, like I said, we always give people samples, and so then you can get the samples, give it to someone. They love it, they'll try it, they want to use it. And so in essence, that's the way it would be, that you use it, you love it, and then you want to help us pass the curls around, and you'll just have them following you. It's like having a following, just as you do. So that's basically, you'll contact us, and we'll set you up and get all the information and send you the merchandise, and then you just start. It's like it's a chain reaction. It's not a hard sell. That's what people would, whenever I just think, "Oh, can I have another sample? Can I have another sample?" So that's how they would do it, is just contact us and we'll send you the merchandise, and we send you the samples, the merchandise. And then of course anytime there's anything that needs to be answered, or you need any help with, we're always here to help you. So that's the easy thing to do. So that's what I would say, that way would be easy.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, do you have any other future plans for Kosher Curls besides, the reps? Are you going to be looking into doing any other products? Anything else that we may or may not be aware of?
As far as like for the hair products, we're thinking about, having, since everybody loves the, all of them. Like I said, the straight shtick
Mhm.
just came out, just a couple of years ago, because
Yeah,
like I
tell
said,
me about that one because I'm not familiar with that one.
yeah. Well, like I said, it's very similar to the Kosher Curls, but like I said, somebody who has curls and doesn't want to have her curls, she's not going to want to buy something that says Kosher Curls, because she says, "I don't want my curls. I don't want curls." People pay so much money to straighten their hair, to do all these other, techniques. So like I said before, the straight shtick gives you the option. If you want to have the straight hair, you're protecting your hair follicle, and you just can put this product on and then just blow it. But I always say, please protect your hair follicle. And then it gives you, like I said, the option is if you want to smush it for curls or blow it for straight shtick. So now we have the four products: the shampoo, the deep everyday, the leave-in, or the straight shtick. Now we're maybe probably going to come out with a product that, because everybody loves this and they go, "Oh my God, I can't believe, that's such a great idea." Now we're trying to come up with a packaging that could be a diluted one, because I said, this you put on wet hair, and this you put on dry hair because you can't put product on dry hair without having it creepy.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to to create something that I can have a bottle that already has it already, pre-measured for you. So that's something that's out in the future. Another thing is we were thinking of maybe, a body lotion, a body cream, because
Ooh.
yeah, this is a whole thing. Because what's nice about this doesn't have any terrible smell, and it's a fresh. That our whole idea, people say, oh, make it strawberry. Well, you make it strawberry, someone's going to hate strawberry. Make it coconut, somebody's going to say, oh, I hate coconut. So the whole thing is that we created a fresh scent, and so that's the same thing we're going to do to have for the body cream, body wash. But like I said, the whole idea, and I love to share ideas with people, especially like I said with this. The spritzer technique, because then it even lasts even longer. So, that's
Exactly.
this, like I said, can last a year, that can last forever. So, people give you ideas, and that's the way, you want to share. I always tell, it's nice to be able to share all your ideas, and just let everybody be, as I say, be curlicious.
Exactly, exactly. So how can the Frizz girls continue to help support kosher curls? How could we help?
Well, you can today, if you want to purchase any of the products, that would make me extremely happy. And there's another thing. We also have a promo codes. So, like, if you have a special charity or a fundraiser, I always say, please just let us know that. Anybody who purchase it, we always donate 18%. 18 means high, so that's our thing. Oh, and you had asked me a question before, Cece. Do you have to be Jewish to like kosher curls? And the answer is definitely no. All my friends they go, I'm not Jewish. Could I use this? I go, of course. And so I got people always writing, things. I'm Italian. I love this. I'm black. I love this. I'm Catholic. I love.
Exactly.
And so that's
Exactly.
the whole thing is that's why I always say all we want to do is pass the curls around and have everybody be happy and curlicious. And so, like I said, when you buy the product, and hopefully, you will buy it today. And if there's anybody that you want us to donate to, we donate 18%. It could be a temple, a church, hostages, whatever it is. We have so many different funds. We do with AIDS, we do with um, cancer fund, everybody. So that's what the beauty is. So if there's a fund that you want, and if you are a girlfriend rep, you could say, oh, everybody who orders it, just please use promo code. I have so many Mahjong people. So they have Mahjong for memories, for Alzheimer's and stuff. So, we put in the code. And like I said, if you just buy directly from us, you put a code and we donate that to whatever cause you want. So that's always a nice thing. So that's, I think, a good technique. And people always say, well, how can that's a lot of money to donate. But you know what? If you're using and loving it, I'm happy, to be doing that. And that's what makes it a special product. Because first of all, it's also, Women's International. So this product, my company, is my sister and myself.
Mhm.
And so I always tell people, well, when I started this product, I was only, I was very young. I was only 27. Now I'm 72, but I say I'm dyslexic. So if I'm 72, if you reverse it, I'm only 27 again. So I always, people go, why do you tell your age? I go, well, you know what? I'm proud of my age. I feel like I'm 27. I might not look like it, but my hair is, I never, my,
But you're
my hair
still
is getting that.
gorgeous. I mean, you're still gorgeous. Your hair is gorgeous. You're gorgeous.
Well, that's what I say. And it's all because of Kosher Curls. I love Kosher Curls, and Kosher Curls is a great product for it. Men, women, children, animals, whoever, and that's the best thing. And
Or
anybody who has
any
ideas,
celebrities. So any celebrities, because you work with people in New York and LA. We know celebrities live in New York or LA. Are there any celebrities that are using kosher curls that you could tell us and what are their thoughts on it?
well, we do have a lot of people that do use it, And in fact, we just ran into a lovely lady, Montana Tucker, who she's a beautiful actress and model. And so she's hopefully going to be, using our Curl Friend product. But there's many different, there's a lot of actors and a lot of actresses that are using it. And, they can't believe it. We'll do a movie, and so the makeup artist, she'll bring it and the girl will say, oh, I know this, I love it, I use it. So I mean, I could tell you a whole list of people, but usually I don't like to I don't like to boast without getting their
That's
permission.
perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
Well, Stacy, as soon as she starts using it properly, here she is, a celebrity, a YouTuber. So that's very good.
I'm just a small fish in a massively big pond right now, but I am trying to be supportive and part of the wavy hair curl community since I do have wavy curly hair. But also with the book series because they're the first books on the market that really teach kiddos how to take care of their wavy curly hair. And so that's really important because they're just and it's funny because I had an event a few weeks ago. I was up at the city of Florence. They had their book and literary festival. It was the first one ever for Florence to have. And I had a couple people come up to me and were like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you exist. I wish I had this when I was a kid." And
Right.
I had somebody asked me like what I did to take care of my hair because she said my hair is exactly the same as yours, except for she had straightened it, and you could tell she used like a curling iron to add the curls back in, which is something I used to do for a long time, was straighten and then add curls. And then I was like, why am I doing this? I have natural curls, like why am I doing this with heated tools? Um, but I get a lot of people, a lot of women that say, I wish I had this when I was a kid. I wish I had this information. I wish I had these books. Because it wasn't around, for years. It just didn't exist. Nobody had thought about it. The wavy curl hair community is not was not as massive as it is now. Like it's just growing and more people and even celebrities are creating products. I know Tracy Ellis Ross has a hair care brand called Pattern she's launched. Um, Beyonce just came out with a new hair care brand called Creed. Um, and so forth. So people are now really stepping up into the creative space in the sense of the wavy hair community. So it's great to connect with like-minded individuals like you, curl friends, who love curly hair, have curly hair, wavy hair, coily hair, kinky hair, whatever, and want to share their knowledge and their expertise. Um, do you have any other information about Kosher Curls or the company or things we need to be on the lookout for? We should be aware of that everybody watching should know about?
Well, just like I said, the main thing is that we are made in America, and I think that's a very, very important thing to have your products made in America. We're a
Absolutely.
women-owned business, and that that the idea that we're here to donate to all different kinds of charities and different special things. The other thing is, if anybody knows Howard Stern, I'd like him to use Kosher Curls because he's always looking for a great hair product. And like I said, this is the best hair product. So that's
Okay,
we
so
always,
when I put this video up, I'm gonna have to tag Howard Stern in some way, shape, or form. Be like, hey,
yes, you are.
Howard Stern, you gotta check out Kosher Curls. You gotta check that out.
That's exactly right. That's
It's
exactly
honestly, some people Howard Stern is a love-hate relationship.
right.
Some
Exactly.
people love him and think he's phenomenal. Some people hate him. But I will say this because I've never met him personally, so I don't know him personally. But what I can say about Howard Stern is he's very honest. He's not going to sugarcoat what he has to share in his message. And I think that's what gets a lot of people's feathers ruffled is his honesty is so brash and it's
Right.
so harsh, but it's so truthful. And love him or hate him, you have to give him props and credit for at least being an honest person. Whether you like the message that he's sharing, whether you agree with it, whether you think the delivery was great or not, because sometimes it might come out a little harsh than what people
Yes.
are used to, depending on who you are and where you're at. I will say he is a very honest person and he will give you the honest truth. So if he ever does try kosher curls, he will tell you whether he hates the product and thinks it sucks or whether he swears by it and loves it. And that's one thing I do have to say, at least he is a very honest person, and that's a really good quality to have in any person in general, is just to be honest about whatever it is you're doing and selling and sharing, because it goes a long way. And I do also
What you
have
said is that people really, sometimes people would say, they hate when you hear things on TV. I'm just saying, it's his hair. His hair is
oh, I know
phenomenal.
his hair is gorgeous.
And he wins all these awards for hair. So he could win an award with Kosher Curls. He could.
He wouldn't even know. And I also have to commend you too, because the fact that your company is taking your profit and not just pocketing all of it into the company, but you're also giving back to the community in some area that the purchaser is wanting it donated, whether it's a hair salon, whether it's a religious organization, whether it's a school, whether it's a business, whether it's a family in need because they had some sort of uncontrollable circumstances, whatever charity you're donating to that the person wants the money to go to, that's really commendable on Kosher Curls for doing that, because a lot of companies today, they're going to make products and sell products, and they want to keep their products, in-house, to pay their employees and their staff and everything else and in their bottom line. But to turn around and take, an 18% profit of what they've received and turn around and give it to somebody else, and to give it as a donation where we want to help you, we know that you need it, or somebody has recommended that we donate this money to you and to your cause. That's to be really commendable. And so you should be very proud of your company and the legacy and what you're setting, the precedents you're setting for everybody else, because that will go a long way with everybody, and as well as in the communities where people are receiving as well as giving. So that's to be commendable.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that is true. I mean, that's why, like I say, is that whatever charity that you have, that's what we want. We don't want to keep it just confined. We want, like I always say, we want to pass the cross around. We want to also pass the guilt, the money, the whatever you want to call it, so that everybody can, enjoy. I mean, that's the bottom line. Is that you got it. You get what you give. So the more we give, the more curl friends we'll get.
Awesome. That's so awesome. And too, so for those of you watching, if you don't know how your hair is going to behave with Kosher Curls, you just need to go to their website, www.koshercurls.com, and check out their website, order their products, and try them out. And also, if you don't know how they're going to behave in your hair and in the weather, you can always go to the Frisco website, www.thefrisgirls.com, and grab the first ever Hair Chronicles journal. What this is great about is it's 200 pages of information for you tracking your wavy curly hair in any type of situation. We've got in here appointment details. So if you've got an appointment coming up with your hairstylist, you can put all this information in your hair book, as well as all the details about the type of cut, what products they used, how much, what order they used, so that way you can kind of know how your hair behaved with that. We also have refresh day. So if you get the leave-in schmear from Kosher Curls and want to try it in your hair at different times, in different weathers, you put the date, the time, you put where you were located at, you put the type of weather, you put how much you used of the product and what you did and how the hair worked in your product. So you kind of know whether on certain days, whether your hair worked really well or it didn't work. Some days our hair does really, really great when there's no rain and no humidity. And other days when there's a lot of humidity and a lot of rain, it just looks like a tangled mess. So it gives you the option to track. It's got good hair day information. So you can track when you have a good hair day, what you used, how much, what order, and where you were. It's really important to write down where you were when you use a hair care product, because if you've traveled and you visit family or friends or go on vacation, your hair is going to change in that new environment with water, with the weather, with what products you're using and the ingredients in the product. So it really is beneficial for you being able to know when you travel to another part of the US or even outside of the US. If you travel overseas, for instance, you go to Italy, you go to Japan, you go to China, you go to Australia, wherever you visit, Jamaica, wherever, you want to know how your hair behaves. And this book is going to help you track it so you kind of know what products work and don't work. So that way you know how your hair is going to look. And then I also have included, for those of you that like to take notes, there are 50 pages of blank line sheets. I made the spaces nice and big. They're like half an inch. And the reason why there's a half an inch is some of you people write really, really big. I know there's times where I write big. So there's a half-inch space in between the lines. So those of you that write large will have enough space to write the information. And then those of you that write tiny, if you want to put 2 lines of text in that each section, you're more than welcome to. So I've made it available so that way you can take as many notes about your hair and how it behaves in all types of weather, products, and so forth. So I want to personally thank Miss Davida for being here from Kosher Kurls today. It has been so much fun getting to meet you and to know you and know about Kosher Kurls and the company. And I'm so glad that you came to talk with us today. We
Oh, yeah.
really appreciate you having us. Thank you so very much.
And I just want to say one more thing, because anybody who's watching today, I'm more than happy. Like I said, if anybody wants to try it, we will send you a free sample. And this sample lasts, like I said, this lasts me 5 or 6 times, but we're happy to send you a free sample. And what you were saying before, every day your hair gets, like today I just washed it. You washed it last night. I was going to do that. The more days go on, the curlier it gets, or the more the texture changes. So your book is so phenomenal, because sometimes like you're going to a party and you're going to go, I'm not going to wash it the day of the party. I'm going to wash it, the day before, so it will be even more curly, because sometimes it's too soft. And then sometimes you don't want it too soiled. So anyway, so the idea, please contact Stacey or myself, and you can get yourself a free sample and try it out. So you know for yourself that it's a phenomenal product. So
And
kosherkurls.com.
make sure when you contact Davida at www.kosherkurls.com, you let her know Stacy from the Frizz Girl sent me. I saw Stacy's TikTok. I saw Stacy's live in the Frizz Girl Facebook group. I saw Stacy's video on the Frizz Girls YouTube channel. Wherever you saw this and you're hearing this information, mention my name, Stacy, or mention the Frizz Girls and let Davida know so that way she can get you that sample for you to try out and decide for your hair if it works or not. And
It
also,
will work. Not if it works or not, it will work.
absolutely. And you can always reach me through my website and the Frizz Girl Facebook group. Thank you so much for having us here and being here with us, Davida. We really appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for a next masterclass next month. If you are watching this, you're a hairstylist, you make a product for wavy curly hair, you're an influencer, anybody in the curl hair industry, and you want me to interview you and you want to share your knowledge and your wisdom about what you do in the wavy curly hair space, please reach out to me. You can go to thefrizzgirls.com or you can email me, Stacy at thefrizzgirls.com, and say, hey, Stacy, I'm a hairstylist. I work with wavy curly hair and I would love to talk to you about me, my cuts, my style, what I do, how I take care of it. I would love to meet with you and chat with you and get to know a little bit more about you in the wavy curly hair space. So get in touch with me. Other than that, wavies, you guys have an awesome day. It's great to see you. Bye, wavies and curlies.
Bye, curl friends. Have a curlicious day, okay?
Bye, Davida. I'll see you later.
Bye. Thank you so much.